Hey, what's up, everybody? It's December 10th, 2019, which means we're ready for this week's TNT Tuesday. All right, things are looking awfully festive out there. Lights are coming out, the trees are coming out, and everybody's definitely ramping up things and getting it ready for the holiday. And I think that's what we should do here for TNT Tuesday as well. So, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be taking you on a little adventure here. It's going to be a three-part series, three-part video series on creating just a Christmas ornament for a tree. So, when people think about Christmas ornaments, they're thinking about these holiday ornaments like this, just simple glass spheres. We can see if there's a topper on it. Usually there's going to be a string or a hook that goes through that. So that's what we're going to be going ahead and tackling today, is just getting a start on the first part of this Christmas ornament. So let's go ahead and let's just get things started. So cruising over to Inventor, we're going to go out there and create a new standard inch IPT. And let's go ahead, let's start a 2D sketch. Pick on any work plane, does not matter. Let's go out there and let's draw our circle. So our ornament is going to have a diameter of 3 inches, so we'll go ahead and create that 3-inch diameter. And then from here at the top of the circle, what we're going to do is go ahead and draw the top of this, and this is going to go up 0.1875, and we're going to go ahead and just kick this over a distance of 0.25, and then we're going to bring this down past that geometry so we can come back in and do a trim and just trim this up like so. All right, once that is done, I'm going to come out here and just see if we can't extend this all the way down. If we can't, let's just go ahead and just draw a line and just take this all the way down. All right, just so we can get the profile we're looking for, because eventually, as you can see, we're going to be going ahead and doing this revolve. The thing is, I want to go out there and put text on this. I want to emboss it. So on a spherical surface like this, emboss is not going to work the way that we really want it to. So what I'm going to do is instead is I'm going to come out here and go into 2-point center rectangle. I'm going to start this from the origin. I'm going to go ahead and just create a rectangle like so. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that this end is tangent to this side right here, and then I'm going to come out here and just dimension this side to be a 1/2 inch like so. All right, once that is done, I can just zoom in here. I can go ahead and begin trimming this out, getting everything in the profile that we sort of need. And let's just go ahead and clean this up like so. All right, I'm not going to need any part of this over here on the left-hand side. And there we go. We're basically ready to go with the profile. So let's just go ahead and finish that sketch. Let's go ahead and do a revolve. That's the profile I'm looking for. That's the axis I'm going to use. I'm going to go ahead and say OK. All right, and that is basically it. So we have our ball ready to go, and the last thing I need to do is, since this is not going to be a solid ball, that's not going to be exactly perfect for our tree. It's going to be a little bit heavy. So what I'm going to do is come out here and just go to shell. I'm going to pick the top to remove it, and I'm just going to go ahead and just bring our thickness here to like 0.05, so it's actually hollow. All right, so we have that done. What I'm going to do now is go ahead and just go to plane. I'm going to pick on this flat face right here that we just created with our revolve, and then I'm going to come out here and go to origin and find the plane that I'd like to reference. All right, so when that plane comes through, we can see that the front is looking at us. Since it is the red tint, that's the blue tint, so that's the back side, so that's what we're looking for. I'm going to go ahead and just start a 2D sketch. All right, so once that is done, I'm going to go ahead and just go into my text feature. I'm going to create an oversized text box like so. I'm going to go to middle center justification, and I'm just going to go ahead and just type in our message, which is going to be Happy Holidays. I'm going to go ahead and highlight that. I want to make sure that this is Arial. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that the text size on this one is 0.375. I'm going to make this bold and italicized. I'm going to go ahead and say OK, and Happy Holidays comes through. All right, so a lot of people will run into this issue when text does not come in the right orientation that they're looking for. All we have to do is come out here, go to rotate, pick on the text, red arrow for the center point, and just go ahead and just rotate this into the correct orientation that we want and say done. Okay, so now I can go ahead and pick and move this and bring this over. And what I'm going to do is make sure that this is somewhat centered right there in the middle of the ornament. So I want to make sure that I have the same amount of text on both sides that's sort of hanging over the edge of it. And I'm going to go ahead and just finish the sketch. All right, so looking ahead, we're going to go out there and apply some materials to this. But I do want this face here to be white. So I'm going to go ahead and pick on this face. I'm going to come up to my color override. And I'm going to come down here and find white. And I'm going to go ahead and just apply that white right there to that face. So once that is done, I'm going to come out here, go to emboss. I'm going to pick on the actual text. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pick on wrap the face. I'm going to go ahead and pick that face. And the depth I want this to be is I want this to be like 0.03. It's going to be raised. And then right here, if you take a look at this, this is the top face appearance. All right, I know it just looks like a little black box. A lot of people don't know what that is. That's the actual appearance of what the top of that text is going to look like. I want this to be gold, so I'm going to come down here and find gold. I'm going to go ahead and say okay on this, and then Boss went out there and worked just absolutely perfect for us. All right, so we had that text wrapping around that ornament. All right, so what I'm eventually going to be doing is on the back of this, I'm going to put a PLTW sticker right smack dab in the middle, but I'm also going to go ahead and just bring in my school logo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a plane again. I'm going to pick on this flat face here, and I'm just going to go ahead and just reference that old existing work plane. So as I was talking about before, there are two sides to a work plane. The blue is the back, and this red tint is the front. So what I need to do is flip this, flip-flop this. So what I'm going to do is come right here to the border, I'm going to right click, and I'm going to go ahead and pick on flip normal. Now we can see that that front is looking at us, and that's what we want to use, because I'm going to come out here and start a 2D sketch right on top of that. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just track this up off the origin like so, and I'm going to go ahead and just create a place. Might be a little bit big. Let's go out here, and I'm just going to create a square that's going to be going back to that surface. So I'm going to finish the sketch. I'm going to go ahead and do an extrude of this face. I'm going to flip it in the other direction and just say extrude to next and say okay, just like so. All right, I'm doing that just because I want to give it sort of just a place where I can go out there and add a sticker to it. All right, so now that that is done, I'm going to start a 2D sketch on this work plane again. I'm going to come out here to image. I'm going to go out there and find my PLTW logo. I'm going to go ahead and just drop that in. If that comes in, just know you have the grips right here. You can rotate this, you can scale it, you can do whatever it is you got to do with this. I'm going to go ahead and just scale this down, get it to a size that's going to be somewhat manageable. I'm just going to take this right to the center of our ornament, okay, just like so. I'm going to finish the sketch and go ahead and create a decal of this image, and I'm going to pick on that face to apply it to the face and say okay. All right, so we have our PLTW logo. It's not distorted because it's just dead center. All right, and then I'm going to come out here and start a 2D sketch on this face. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and drop an image in, and this is going to be of my school's logo, like so. I'm going to drop that in. I can scale that down once again. Okay, just like so. Drag this over. And if you want, at this point, what I found is you can project geometry. It just kind of gives you an idea of where the border of that actual solid is. And I can go ahead and just drag this and drop this in like so. I'm going to make sure that this is centered. Just like that. I'm going to go ahead and finish the sketch. Go to decal. Go ahead, pick the image, pick the face I want that to go on, and say okay. All right, so there we go. We have my school logo on there as well. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just start shutting down some work planes that we're not going to be needing at this point in time. All right, so we have that, and we have this one here. We'll go ahead and turn that one off as well. All right, so we have that glass sphere that we were looking for. We have the decals on it that we're looking for. All right, the last thing we need to do is go ahead and, make this like sort of a red metallic paint or whatever. All right, so what I'm going to do on this one is I'm going to come up here to my material browser right here. I'm going to come down here and find gold. And when I find gold, I'm going to go ahead and hit the arrow. I'm going to go ahead and just bring that up here into my document materials. I don't want to override gold, all right, because I want to give this a red tint to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on gold. I'm going to come out here and go to duplicate. I'm going to go ahead and just give this a name that I will remember. So this is red metallic paint. All right, so it's going to go ahead and it's going to inherit those gold properties to it. I'm going to come over here to the pencil. I'm going to come here to the appearance tab, and instead of this being this color for the tint, I'm going to come out here and just pick on red, say okay, and now we can see that has applied it to the actual ornament. All right, and there we go. All right, so that is the first part of our 3-part series of the Christmas ornament. There's a lot of great stuff in there, emboss, a lot of work plane stuff we get to work with, and revolve and shell. So it's great stuff. So there you go. That's the first part of a 3-part series for Christmas ornament. Hope you all have a great week. I'll see you on next week's TNT Tuesday.